Keeping your precious metals safe and secure is, of course, one of the most important things for anybody investing in gold and silver. As physical gold and silver owners, we have to take that responsibility of our precious metals seriously. It's not as easy as you might think to make sure that your precious metals are safe, locked away and secure. And even if they are, what happens if the worst happened and it was stolen or your house burnt down? Can you rely on insurance to pay you out? Well, it's often a little bit of a complicated question. So maybe the better way is to just keep everything as secret and as safe and as hidden as possible. That's what they used to do in the old days with their gold and silver. Some would even bury it in the backyard. That's not necessarily right for the 21st century. So today we're going to talk a little bit about keeping your silver and gold safe, insurance, and how to maybe avoid the worst case scenario. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble where we have down-to-earth discussions about all things precious and shiny. And today I want to talk about keeping your gold and silver safe. Now, we all know that gold and silver is great, but it does come at a risk of ownership. Being stolen, being coveted by others is definitely a factor. There are some horror stories out there. So there are a number of ways that we can keep ourselves safe as gold and silver investors. We can, of course, hide creatively. We can have home security, but also insurance. So insurance is going to be a discussion that I want to have today because there are a lot of things that people maybe don't think about when looking to take out precious metals insurance or just home insurance for the things they have in their home, contents insurance. Now, this is not investment advice. This is not insurance advice. I'm not qualified to give that. It's just my opinions, thoughts, and feelings on the subject. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. So we're going to talk about insurance, whether it's worth looking at. If it is, great, what can we do as consumers to protect ourselves? And if it's not worth doing, what are the things that we can help to reduce that risk and liability as investment or investors in precious metals? So a lot to think about. Love to know what you've got to say down in the comment section. And if you would like a chance to win this 1 kilo, that's right, 1 kilo elemental silver cube that I have made, then help me get to 100,000 subscribers, because this is going to be the grand prize in our 100,000 subscriber giveaway. So make sure you subscribe if you're not already and are enjoying our content. So let's get started with some questions on insurance. Now, insurance is not going to be for everybody, and part of the dichotomy of a stacker is you want to obviously protect your silver and gold investments, but you also want to keep it secret, keep it safe, to quote a famous wizard from the Lord of the Rings. So the idea of ringing up an insurance company and simply saying, well, hey, look, I've got a whole bunch of gold and silver, and this is the value, and this is my security arrangements, this is the kind of safe I've got, this is the exact model of the safe I've got, this is where I bought the safe from, all of my security details and everything. That feels a little bit weird. You're putting a lot of trust in whoever you might be talking to at the end of the phone, and I don't mean to be derogatory towards insurance companies, but there could quite easily be some snotty-nosed 18-year-old oik that is working in a summer job in a precious metals insurance company, and all of a sudden that data is there. It's recorded somewhere, and what if there's a data leak of that company? What if that company is hacked? There are lots of different things to think about. So blindly trusting any insurance company is a difficult concept for a lot of people to get over, and I would tend to agree with that to a certain degree. Of course, insurance is good, it is important, but you need to make sure that A, the insurance is worth it in terms of the price to the cover that you're getting, but also that you are reliably able to rely on them. There's a bit of a long-winded phrase, but reliably able to rely on them is really important, because insurance is only ever as good as its ability to pay out. And there are a lot of different things that might affect one's ability to get some money out of an insurance company. And I don't mean to sort of be that conspiratorial person, but I've never been much a fan of insurance companies. Their whole job, their whole reason that they make money is by not paying out. So they will find reasons not to pay out. So therein lies part of the stacker's dilemma. So is physical stuff really kind of worth it, that risk, that liability? Because at the end of the day, we're taking that money out of the system, we're putting it in our own possession. We are taking responsibility of that. We have to find the insurance. If you put money in a bank, of course, that's not a problem. Now, there are a lot of different other ways that one can invest in gold and silver, and perhaps those are the different things that we should look at. I've done some videos recently about vaulted silver and gold investments. We'll touch more on that element of how to keep ourselves protected as stackers and investors after today.
We are very proudly sponsored by Trusty Metrics, who are the UK's exclusive supplier of the
Sigma precious metal testing machines. They are fantastic bits of kit, worth their weight in gold in my opinion. They've helped me grow my business and my stack and have that peace of mind that all the gold and silver that I own and that I buy is indeed real gold and silver. Something that if you're a business is imperative, but if you're a stacker, that peace of mind, as I said, is worth its weight in gold. Now, Trusty Metrics are a fantastic organization, a small family-run business that provides customer service second to none. And I have first-hand experience of getting their technical help and expertise when I've been trying to test big chunky bars of silver like this, or just getting to grips with how the machines run. They are always there. I mean, they've been fantastic for me, even on weekends, to get prompt answers for just simple queries. They are a non-pushy organization, and they have and continue to work with businesses and investors to make sure that the machines that they get are right for them. So if you're interested, you can go and see their website with the full range of machines that they have on offer. And if you're interested, reach out to them and tell them that Backyard Bullion sent you their way. Thank you once again to Trusty Metrics for sponsoring our channel. And now back on with our precious metal ramble.
So there are plenty of different ways that one can invest in precious metals. It doesn't just have to be physical gold and silver at home. You can have vaulted services. You can invest in the producers of them. There are different risk levels involved with all of them, of course, so do factor that in and bear that in mind. But some of the big problems about insurance, and this is where I want to kind of bring it home to really get you thinking about what is right for you. So insurance, as I said, is only ever as good as its ability to pay out. Now, you need to make sure that, first of all, you've got a commensurate amount of insurance for the stack that you've got. These are really important things to think about. Even with simple things like Royal Mail Special Delivery insurance, if you underinsure, beg your pardon, so if you've got £100,000 worth of precious metals kept at home, and you've only insured it for 50,000, thinking, well, I only spent £50,000 on it, and if I lose it all, then I'll just get my money back, that's fine. That often actually completely invalidates your claim. So you really need to have a good look at what the T's and C's of those insurance documents are. And those can be really difficult to read, by the way. Those can be really difficult to get your head around. So that's part of the game of insurance, to find loopholes by which you will not be covered. A lot of the insurance companies out there will have itemization requirements for items over £1,000 or £500 even, or it depends from various different insurance companies to others. There are some that will not require itemization beyond a couple of thousand, or up to a couple of thousand, in some cases up to £5,000. Those can be quite good, but again, how do you prove what you've got and when you've got it? You know, you've got all of these questions to think about. If you put in a claim to your insurance company and you've bought X, Y, and Z in cash from Joe Bloggs down the pub, trying to keep it all off the books from HMRC, we all love to do that, don't we? Then how are you going to prove it to the insurance company? Not very easy to do. So perhaps if and when you do take out precious metals insurance or contents insurance for your precious metals, you need to itemize anyway, even though you're not required to itemize. And then when you do have to make a claim, how does the insurance company know that you still had that item in your possession, that you didn't sell it down the pub to Joe Bloggs with his trench coat once again for a bodge of cash? They don't know that. You're going to have to prove otherwise. So do you have photos of the items? Do you have a video of it? Did you make a YouTube video recently showing an item in your possession with a time-stamp dated thing that's unfakeable? Probably not. Now, if your insurance company requires that you have security, that you have certain security on your windows and doors and CCTV systems and alarms, and the alarms have to be set, because a lot of the time if the alarm's not set, they are not covered. It has to be in a safe. The safe has to be a certain degree or grade, has to have a certain level of cover. It can't have too much precious metal in it. It has to be a certain weight. There are so many different things that these insurance companies will require that it kind of makes you think, well, is it kind of worth it? So therein lies the problem of insurance. Now, this is not me saying that you should not get insurance. I have insurance, but I've done it the right way. I've had to go through all these hoops to get the right level of insurance. And you might think, well, it's just easy. I'll just go and put it all in a safety deposit box, because then it's not my problem. It's the safety deposit box's problem. Well, a lot of these banks and safety deposit box suppliers don't provide insurance on the items inside, or at least if they do, it's only to a certain level. And of course, when you're dealing with gold, just a couple of ounces can invalidate any levels of claim. So you often have to buy third-party insurance. That's something that I've done and have, and that's not cheap. So you've got to think about where the big percentage is for your portfolio. Is that going to eat into your returns over time? Probably, but is that risk? It's the risk-reward thing, isn't it, really? That is the big thing there. And that's where we sort of part from the idea, well, if insurance is really bad and you don't want to can't bother getting it, then what's the solution? Well, as we said in the sponsor segment of this video, there are definitely different ways that you can invest in gold and silver without having it in your physical possession that has that inherent risk to it. But we're all gold and silver bugs. We like to have it. So you can have creative hiding spaces. You know, gold has been portable wealth throughout history, and this beautiful antique sovereign holder, stunning. It's 9-carat gold. It is absolutely beautiful. I haven't got the top of my head the hallmark details, but I seem to remember it being about 100 years old. It's so cool. I love it. It can fit 5 sovereigns. You know, you put that in your pocket. Suddenly you've got 1 and a bit ounces of 1.25 ounces of gold there or thereabouts, plus a bit more with the actual gold of this. You can take that out with you. You can hold it. You can hide it. Gold is a lot easier from a weight to value ratio to hide creatively. You know, if you've got kilo silver coins like this or kilo bars of silver, here we've got £5,000 worth of silver, give or take, with spot price and premiums. You know, for the same amount in gold, there you go. That's 5 grand's worth of gold. 5 sovereigns plus the 9-carat gold in this. Gone. It's in my pocket. I've walked away with it. It's safe. Can you ease? I mean, yes, you can probably put 2 kilos in your pocket. Your trousers might fall down. It's a first world problem, I suppose. Oh no, my trousers keep falling down because I've got 2 kilos worth of silver in my pocket. But still, the point remains that if you've got a sizable budget or an investment, sizable position within gold and silver, you might want to think about protecting it in more ways than just insuring, hiding it, keeping it safe, keep it secret, keep it safe. That is definitely a thing. Now look, this video is not me trying to dissuade you from getting insurance. There are a lot of people who do it successfully and have insurance. It's very good to have insurance, to have that peace of mind for your precious metals. But it's a lot of things to think about, because a lot of people will be spending a lot of money on their insurance without really realizing that it's actually not going to cover them at all. And therein is an even bigger problem, because you are essentially burning money. You are taking this ounce of silver. In fact, I'm not going to throw this one away. Here you go. Take this ounce of silver, throw it away. That's an ounce of silver that I've just thrown away into my garden. That was 1 month of insurance cover. How about this one? There you go. I'm just throwing silver away now. It's provocative. It gets the people going. There you go. Just like that. That's 6 months worth of insurance gone. That's how much silver you've lost because your cover doesn't actually cover you. And then let's say someone comes in and steals the rest of your silver. You've got nothing back at all from your troubles. So, yeah, pretty difficult to really justify insurance unless you know without a shadow of a doubt that it is genuine. And this also expands out to things like posting insurance. So I've done a video recently about special delivery and how right now we're on that cusp for kilos of silver being over the insurance threshold. And you can't, unless you're going to actually chop it up and sell it to someone chopped up, you can't send it without the proper cover. And there are insurance companies that will do goods in transit insurance, but you have to check their T's and C's, because these insurance companies, let me tell you, they will worm and squiggle, is that the right? They'll squirm and wriggle. They'll squiggle their way out of paying. They always will, they always do. That's just what insurance companies are about. That's kind of the nature of this world, unfortunately. And unless you want me to throw more silver away into my back garden, which by the way is a beautiful, lovely spring day again, another little twin prop plane flying overhead as well, it's just not worth the risk in my opinion. So where I am as a stacker is that if you are going to have insurance, you need to make sure it's fit for purpose. You need to do all of that due diligence with your insurance provider. You need to ensure that what you've got is an appropriate level of cover for what you are trying to insure. You need to make sure that if you do need to claim, that you are able to do so in the right way, providing the right information with the right security measures to make sure everything works. Don't spend too much money on insurance that you just rely on, because that's kind of the way the world is right now. We just don't really understand. I'm talking about general population here. 99% of the population, they just go, you need car insurance, I'll buy it. Is it going to be fit for purpose? I don't know. Well, it'll do. I've ticked my box. And they never really understand that if they really need it, they really, really need it. It's like pet insurance. We've got a new doggy. We got a new doggy last year when our old doggy Rhubarb, he passed away suddenly. Doggy cancer. It was very, very sad. He's a very young dog, but we got a new dog. He was a rescue, but he had issues. He had issues with his leg, and I decided straight up that we were going to take out insurance. And we were very open with the insurance company about the fact that he had a pre-existing condition, and they said that's absolutely fine. But we wanted it in writing because, we were going to do some quite in-depth, and we have. I mean, we've spent nearly £7,000 on his insurance policy for this year, and that was very much worth making sure that it would be paid out. And it was, and it has been. But we had it in writing that a pre-existing condition, because we'd rehomed him, would be covered, and it has been. And I'm very happy to say that he's doing really well. And like, as a rescue dog, he's one of the best dogs in the world. He's really good with our other dog. And he's currently sitting basking in the sun near those bits of silver that I've just thrown away. He's enjoying the silver. But anyway, the point is, insurance companies are only ever as good as their ability to pay out, and it should not be relied upon to do that. So keeping ourselves secret, keeping ourselves safe is really, really important for precious metals investing, and that responsibility should not be taken lightly. And it's the same thing for example, investing in stocks and shares and silver and gold mining companies. It's very important to do your due diligence, very important to have a look in depth about what you're getting into, about how you can keep yourself safe. So it might seem great at the moment with the crazy world that precious metals are on the up and seemingly will continue to be on the up for weeks, months, years ahead, but make sure that you're not putting yourself up for a failure whereby you would invest in these things. The worst would happen. I'm not just talking about burglaries and robberies. What if your house burnt down? I remember reading a really interesting, it might even have been a YouTube video. I think I remember reading it, and then it was like a blog, and then this is back in like 2015 when I got started. There was a gentleman in Canada whose house burnt down, and he had a bunch of gold and silver in a safe. And the safe was pretty good. I think it was fire rated for half an hour, but ultimately in a raging house fire inferno that got out of control very quickly, it only lasts so long, doesn't it? And eventually the house falls down, it all melts down and collapses. And he had insurance, and he had to go through a lot of hoops to get his insurance payout, but he finally did get an insurance payout for the gold and silver that he had in his safe, which of course was lost to the fire. But it wasn't lost because, of course, the metal was still there. It was just all melted down, and it melted into a big kind of conglomerate blob of metal. And he went prospecting in his own house, in his own burnt wreckage. You know, he got payout for his house, he got to rebuild his house, he got payout for his precious metals that were in his safe, and that was great. And I remember reading that blog about how it took a long time, I seem to remember. I wish I could remember where I found it. I might go and have a look and see if I can link it down, or if someone else has seen this, please feel free to link it in the comments. But he managed to prospect in there and find a bunch of the raw metal. Of course, he just was never going to get anything close to spot price for it. Sent it off to refinery, got, 50% of the metal price. But he'd been paid out from his insurance company, and then he'd got the metals out of it. But the point here is that it's not just about theft, and it's about metal disasters in your own life. If your house burnt down, you can't just go and grab, not that you should be if your house is on fire, but you can't just go into your safe and grab 30 kilos of silver. But if you had just a bunch of silver, a bunch of gold just easily accessible in an easy to access hiding place that only you knew about, you could theoretically get that out relatively quickly. So worth thinking about. And I hope this has been an interesting video for you guys to have things to think about that might be right for your stack, that might be right for your, if you've got insurance right now and you've just sort of blindly accepted that it will be fit for purpose, when really maybe you think you should go and have another look at those T's and C's, then let me know in the comments. And if you haven't got insurance, tell me why you don't believe in it. Tell me why you don't think it's the right thing for you. It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments. As I said at the beginning of the video, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, because we will be giving away this 1 kilo cube. There will be other giveaway prizes as well. I am working with a bunch of my sponsors to put together what I hope will be one of the best giveaways on YouTube for 100,000 subs, because that's really cool and really special. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.